like to party, party, party all night long. Party, party, we like to party, 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 never go home. Party, party, we like to party, party, party all night long. Party, party, we like to party, 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 never go home.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to episode 56 of the Ball Talk Pod. Here to talk about some Summer Thunder news. We're going to be talking Chet's extension. We're going to be talking NBA Summer League, which everyone is, I know, dialed into. We'll talk about the NBA Cup draw that just came out today, and then we got a little free agency game that I'm going to put Chris through. But, yeah. Chris, how we feeling tonight, man?
Oh, I love games, so I'm super pumped. Just so the listeners out there know, the ball talkers, the ball heads out there, the bald heads, if you're a fan of Alex Caruso, I have not seen this game. It'll be the first time I've played it, so we'll be on the journey together.
Chris, what's your favorite game?
Of all time? Are we talking video game or are we talking
Everything.
board
Off
game?
the top of your head, what is it?
Well, my favorite game to play with my friends is Smash. The N64 Nintendo's Super Mario Smash Brothers. That's the best game when you get 4 people going and you're just cruising on it. Best board game is, this might cause some ripples, but I think Monopoly, if you play the fast version, is the best board game out there.
I agree with that.
It's fun. There's some strategy involved. There's some luck involved. There's a lot of crying kids if you play with children, so it's the perfect game.
That's how the Osbournes did it. That's
right. That's right. Everyone cried. That's when we ended the game, when everyone was crying.
Yeah,
we
would restart the game if people weren't crying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We played by the rules.
First thing we're going to touch on today is Mr. Chet Holmgren's rookie max extension. Now,
give me the deets. Lay the deets on me.
Let me pull them up real quick because it's kind of interesting. It's crazy how much flack this has gotten online for a guy that just was.
Not from Thunder fans, though. I haven't seen any flack from Thunder fans.
No, the people that watch the games are actually pretty okay with it, shockingly enough. No, it's like people just that don't understand how this works. Like, well, here it is. Sham's tweet today was Oklahoma City Thunder star and NBA champion. My favorite part of this.
What? I mean, for the rest of his life.
Chet Holmgren.
Same for us, according to Aaron Wiggins.
Exactly. We were in the arena.
I was in the arena.
Chet has agreed to a fully guaranteed 5-year maximum rookie contract extension that could reach $250 million. That's a lot of cash.
So he doesn't. Okay. So you said fully guaranteed. There is no option.
No, there is no. One thing that the Thunder have always taken pride in, or at least taken as a strategy point, is not having these like team and player options in these rookie extensions, which then create some kind of, especially if it's a player option, you don't know what your book's going to look like in 5 years, whether they opt in or not.
Sure.
Now, most of the time they will, but
explain to me what the different you said a team option or a player option. What exactly do you mean?
Yeah, team option means basically at the end, like every year you see guys, and it can be the full extensions, it can be someone signing a new contract. You'll see that they get like a 2-year deal or a 5-year deal. In a 2-year deal, it might say a 2-year deal with a team option. The first year is always guaranteed because you just signed it. They want you on the team this year. And then depending on the team's books, how they think of you, what their books look like in a year or two, if it's a team option, they have the option to terminate the contract. Like they have to choose to pick up your next year, whether that be whatever the last year is. Now, if it's a player option, the player chooses. A lot of times when players have options, they usually are opting in, especially later in their career, because they don't think they're going to get more. But with the salary cap rising, I mean, you see people opting out more. Like, for instance, James Harden this year, he was under contract. He had a player option. He declined it and then re-signed with the Clippers for more money.
I feel like I've seen a lot of those players opt out and just re-sign with the same team.
Yeah. Like, that's what the Thunder have done with a lot of these lower-end bench guys. Like, decline and sign.
AJ Mitchell did one.
Jay Will
did one.
And it's what we did with Wiggins and Joe last year.
Right. It
so
offers
we
your team
utilize
a
it
lot of flexibility, which is nice. The books, as we talked about Chet Holmgren's extension, $250 million or $240 million, whatever it may be, that is those, expiring contracts or whatever you want to call them, those option contracts are going to be pretty valuable to a team like us. Where they're pretty easily traded too, because it comes with a team option that the team can just, decline the next year.
What I think people get hung up on is the dollar amount.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I mean, that's what catches your eye. 5 years, up to $250 million. The thing is, though, I've never been in these negotiations. Shockingly enough, I never made it to the NBA. But
I'm not shocked.
Oh, thanks. But
after you got shoulder surgery and then you broke your foot, there's a lot of injury luck that didn't go your way.
Yeah, Chet's lucky that he didn't break his foot and tear a labrum. He's lucky he broke a hip and
breaking a hip is so much easier than tearing your labrum.
Yeah. Shoot, where was I going with that now? Now that I'm thinking about not making the NBA. So in these contracts, that the number is not negotiated. Like the true dollar amount is not negotiated. It is
explain
a percent
that to us.
of the salary cap.
Gotcha.
So since we talked about with Eddie last week, Shea signed his super max extension, which at the time made him the highest, would be like when his contract goes into effect, highest paid player in the NBA. Now tonight, Devin Booker signed an extension and he surpassed him. Like that's just how quick it goes in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the NFL with quarterbacks. It's like, okay, whoever's the most recent guy to sign is the highest paid quarterback at his position. And then a week later, 3 other guys have now signed their extensions, and the original guy is now 4th. Like everyone just signs.
All of them are pretty petty though. Like it's always by like $200,000, or it's always by a sort of, to them an insignificant amount, but they just want to be the highest paid player, right?
Yeah.
Because Devin Booker's isn't going to be more than like 73, right?
Yeah, his is like 2 years, 140 plus.
45, I think is what I saw.
That sounds right. But like Shea, when getting back to kind of the Thunder's cap situation, Shea's contract, the 4 years, $286 million, which does not go into effect until this year's this current contract expires, which I believe is after next year.
Yeah, he's only getting paid like $30 million next year, so that's kind of sad for him.
Poor thing. Poor thing. But he's going to be making 35% of the salary cap. Now, you see
What's the salary cap?
The salary cap is the number that the NBA has. There's like a negotiation between the NBA and the Players Association as to what is the total allotment that teams have to sign and pay players. Whether that be through the draft or...
Okay, but what is that number?
Oh, I think it's. Oh, let me see.
I think it's $220 million.
It goes up every year. It has the option to go up 10% every year. This year it only went up 7%, which was kind of shocking. Sure. But with the new NBA TV deal coming into effect, I think that's going to be
more.
It's going to blow up.
But we should mention that the salary cap is only what you're paying that player that year. So your book for the year, all the players' salary for that year. So Shea won't make $280 million every year. He'll make like $30 million. So for his cap salary hit is what they call it. It'll be $30 million this year towards, I think it's $220 million.
This says the salary cap for the 2025-26 season is set at $154.6 million.
Then I don't know what I'm talking about.
Now, they probably assume that it's going to escalate above that. Yeah, it's $154. $154 million. But yeah, so like Shea signed his extension. Chet just signed his. The rookie max that he and Dub will one day get is for 25% at the beginning. And then if over the course of the next year, if Dub or Chet makes All-NBA, wins Defensive Player of the Year, starts an All-Star game, or wins MVP, basically. If any of those happen, then negotiate into the contract is what they call an escalator. And the escalator can be up to 5%. You saw Paolo Banchero sign it. That's why his number was like $280 million, I think. but that's because he signed for the full 5% escalator. So if he gets any of those accolades I just mentioned, his salary increases.
Him being in the East, he'll probably be an all-star.
He's a lock. Well, you'd have to be an all-star starter.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's an all-star starter.
Probably.
The East. Especially
There's no one left.
Tatum hurt. Yeah. Tatum hurt, Dame out.
Addition by subtraction for him. But what was interesting about Chet's, his came out and they said up to $250 million. What has been reported since then is that his escalator is only 1%. So somewhere in the negotiation, he was fine with only having the potential for a 1% increase if he hit any of those markers. I don't think it's him doing us a favor. I think Chet's extension was far and away the most intriguing one to see going into this offseason, because after what you saw from Dub, he's an all defensive player. He made all NBA. He had 40 in the finals. Like, he was phenomenal. And we can talk more about his wrist thing after that video came out.
Such a cool video.
He's going to get the full max, like 100%. Because, I mean, he's already made all NBA. Why would he not want the full extension? The Thunder with Chet were in what some people kind of thought was a predicament, because he's played a season and a half. He's had 2 pretty catastrophic injuries. Now, the good thing is I think they're both freak injuries. Like, both of them are not like he just has a bad knee and it's degenerative or whatever it might be. I mean, he's the first NBA player to break his hip. Congrats. But he also won a championship in the same year.
I will say he's the first current active NBA player.
Yeah, we don't have the
I'm
stats.
I'm sure there are some NBA players out there who have broken their hip. Is either way Charles Barkley walks?
Maybe both hips with him. And his golf swing? You kidding me?
Yeah. Charles Barkley needs to come on the pod and answer for the hip allegations.
Yeah, we can talk about the women down in San Antonio if he wants to.
Hip gate. I'm sure he thinks San Antonio women and Oklahoma City women
are comparable.
The same. Yeah, which
he needs to come and answer.
Wrong.
He would need to come and answer for that. But Chet getting this extension, I think it's fascinating with the 1%. I mean, obviously, like I said, we're never in those negotiating rooms, and Dubs, I think, will be pretty short. I mean, Shams even tweeted out that there was momentum towards Dub signing his. One thing to remember with all of this, they can negotiate all they want, and let's say they don't come to terms, whether it would have been Chet or Dub still. The way that it works with NBA draft picks and their especially first-round contracts, and specifically I think in the lottery, I'd have to go and check further into this, but you have those options in the contracts where you pick up a third-year option, you pick up a fourth-year. It's all team options. So the team chooses if they want to bring you back, because on draft pick salaries, their salaries escalate quite a bit. Like Ousmane Dieng, who was the 11th overall pick in 2022, is making like $6 million this year, which I know in the NBA it doesn't feel like a lot, but for a guy that, I mean, he was on the court at the end of the NBA Finals Game 7.
Doesn't play much.
But he's making $6 million. So with the NBA contracts and the draft picks contracts, you technically have the rights to that player for up to like 8 or 9 years, because once you get through their initial contract, even as long as you, the team, is picking up those options, let's say you don't come to terms on an extension, they then would enter what they call restricted free agency, where they are then allowed to go out and negotiate with any team they want. But whatever contract that they agree to with the other team, your original team has the chance to match. And if they want to, you can't say no. So, like, let's say hypothetically this isn't going to happen, but Dub and the Thunder don't go don't get to an agreement. Dub could then go sign a max deal with any team in the NBA. Let's say he goes home to the Phoenix Suns. He's an Arizona kid. He signs the max extension. That contract then gets sent to the Thunder, and the Thunder they have to offer him that exact contract. But if they're fine with it, Dub has to come back to the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a fascinating thing, and rarely do you ever see that happen. I think the last big one that I saw was DeAndre Ayton when he signed a restricted free agent deal with the Pacers, and then Phoenix matched it. But the bottom line in all this is Dub and Chet are not going anywhere. You're going to have the option to pay all of them, even if they scale up and it's 35, 30, and 26%. what is that, like 89, 90%, whatever. One, you have so many valuable contracts right now on descaling, a descaling contract. Like Wiggs is making less money every year for the rest of his contract. Joe has a very affordable contract. Caruso, although it looks like it, again, with the salary cap expanding so much, all of these guys are going to look like steals in 3 years.
Right.
Because everything's just going to balloon. We have the picks. I mean, there's so many. Like, the problem with NBA Twitter right now is everyone thinks that the biggest rival to the Oklahoma City Thunder is the second apron. So, and I honestly need to read more about it, because there's the salary cap that we mentioned, the $154 million, and then there's a gap from the salary cap number to the first apron, and then, which is another number. Then from the first apron to the second apron, there are certain penalties that each team faces if they go over the cap, and then obviously if they go even further over the cap into the second apron, you get to the point where even your draft picks are frozen, and you can't trade them. Like, it's highly complicated. It's some way they're trying to like make it balanced. No one understands it because it's new in the CBA. But honestly, if you're the Thunder, you have so many draft picks now that who cares if yours gets frozen, because you have 3 others that draft.
Right.
Like, if push comes to shove, worst case scenario, you're in the second apron. They only get frozen if you're in it, I think, 3 years or something like that. 3 years in a row. Even that's just your draft pick. So if you have the Nuggets pick down the line and they're 15th overall, you still have that pick. Like the Thunder could not be in a better situation compared to the rest of the teams.
Okay, so you mentioned, but that scares me. So let's say like we have Boston's pick. I don't know if we do, but we have Boston's pick in 2026, and they've been in the second apron for that would be their 3rd year or whatever, and so their pick is frozen. Does that mean we can't pick it?
So the rule with the frozen picks, it's supposed to impact you in the future. So like, let's say you're in it 3 straight years. The pick that's frozen is your pick 7 years in the future, is my understanding of it, which is so every year you'll see like a new year added to picks that can now be traded. The pick after that year that is available to trade is what gets frozen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Again,
so they couldn't trade it. And
No.
And it's like always frozen. Like they can't get out of the second apron.
Correct. But if they have to be in it like 2 or 3 years for it to be frozen.
But so like if it does get frozen, they can't unfreeze it.
Correct.
It's like
that's my understanding.
Penalty. Okay.
Again, all of this is crazy. Like, so many, like, even people on Twitter who I think know about this have no idea how exactly it's all worked, because it's a pretty new CBA still.
Right. And people, like you talked about, people are like, oh, don't worry about the Thunder. They're not going to be around for long. That this CBA is going to kill them. The second apron is going to murder them. You know, when they put on that second apron and try to cook a cake, the oven's going to blow up. That's how they're talking.
Because just like the team will. I even saw someone on NBA, the subreddit today, that was like, this team has a 2-year window. And I was like, Shea's extension isn't even kicking in until after this year. We've already won a championship.
And that's the thing. And we've seen it for many years. When you have a player as capable as SGA, they can lead you through the finals. I mean, Luka did it. And I think Shea is just as good as Luka.
He's better than Luka right now.
In his ability to carry a team. Like, Luka's done it. You know, LeBron's a different animal. But he did it throughout his career. So if you have a guy like that, even with maybe a lackluster supporting cast, we can get there. But that's not even what the Thunder have. The Thunder don't have a lackluster supporting cast. They have J-Dub, who scored 40 in a finals game, and Chet, who's a defensive monster and coming into his offensive game in his own right. You know, once you sign those guys, you can kind of pick and choose guys to put around them.
And they say you want to have as many bites at the apple as you can get, and that's why the Thunder have so many draft picks.
Right.
They're fine with failing. Like, you're not going to hit on every draft pick. I mean, like, honestly, what the Thunder did in the 2022 draft without doing any research might be the luckiest draft of all time. You got Chet, Dub, J. Will, and Usman Jang. You really go 3 out of 4, and you get 2 guys who are going to sign max extensions in one draft.
And then one guy who's like the ultimate team roster bench guy.
And you still have like Usman Jang, like he's still on the roster. Like he has enough makeup and traits plus a $6 million salary that's makes it easier to trade if you need to upgrade the roster around.
And
the
how
trade
young
deadline.
he is.
Yeah, like it's the like you had Shea obviously, and Giddey got you Caruso, which was the draft before, but that draft is the reason you're NBA champions. Like that's not rocket science. With Chet's deal, are you like shocked by it? Like I think it's so crazy how good he was, and he was coming off of a bum hip, and we've never seen him look at his 10 games before he got hurt. I think he was averaging like 18 and 8. He was number 3 in the initial NBA.com MVP ladder.
Yeah. And you saw like portions of his offensive game that were like really budding and really flowering and showing you like, wow, this guy could really put it together and become a prolific scorer. And, you know, breaking your hip will cause those things to regress. And so hopefully we can see some of that improvement going into next season. I was not shocked. I had a coworker who asked me, and he was like, do you think Chet deserves the Supermax? I was like, yes. I was like, no question, no hesitation. Chet deserves a Supermax. He's played a year and a half of professional basketball. He's our defensive anchor. Like you're not able to put that much ball pressure out front with Alex Caruso, with Casey Wallace, with Lou Dort, if you don't have somebody who's capable of blocking any shot that comes into the lane. Like that just like doesn't happen. You have to have an anchor back there. And he was our anchor throughout the playoffs. You know, he showed it with his blocks and his ability to just deter people from the rim. And then you have to, he's young. He's only played a year and a half worth of like NBA basketball because of his injuries. Yes, he's had some freak injuries, but sometimes that's just bad luck. And obviously it didn't hurt us winning the finals, him going down and coming back. So
it's crazy thinking about in November, everybody was like, I don't know how the season's going to go now. And then we had the year we did.
What about you? Were you shocked at all?
No, I thought he was going to get the max the whole time. Like him and Dub were far and away going to get the max. I think for anyone doubting it, go watch the fourth quarters of Game 5 and Game 7 in the NBA Finals, and you have your answer as to why he got it. Even if he wasn't shooting, like that's the craziest part about this team winning the championship now, especially with the context that you've gotten of Dub's wrist, and we already knew about Chet, who I know wasn't 100% in terms of like back to what he was. He was 100% healthy, but
return to performance was not
100%. And this team won a championship. Like all the moves all these teams are making, and the Thunder, their internal development, we said it last year too, is far and away their best improvement is going to be internal. There's nothing they could do external.
There's also something to be said about like the cohesion that they've had. That's not the right word. What word am I looking for? Not bringing any new guys in. I can't
like camaraderie of the team, and
just they've been together. They're baking together. They're doing all these things. That's like big in the NBA. Who knows how the Kevin Durant situation offensively is going to work in Houston, or defensively? Who knows how the Luka LeBron stuff with DeAndre Ayton really is going to take off? You know what I mean? There's so much question marks because we haven't seen it. Another year with this team playing together is a big improvement in itself. As well as Shea's never not gotten better over the summer. He's never not added something to his game, whether it's
26
defensive or
is still
offensive.
very young in the NBA.
Yeah. So, the Thunder don't have to do much to improve. I honestly don't think bringing in anybody else is going to
help.
Just
like the improvement isn't there with outside.
It's not going to make them measurably better. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to make them like 10 times better to bring someone in. It might, a player, the right player, the perfect player might make them 1% better. But
they already brought in their external guys in Caruso and Hartenstein. They don't need another.
Right.
Like they already went out and saw where the cracks were and filled them.
And it worked.
And don't go away from what got you here. Bottom line.
So
congrats to Chet. He's rich. He was already back in the gym today. He posted that he was with his shoes getting ready to go through a workout right after they announced the extension. So
he needs to he needs to study Kevin Durant's offensive game.
He needs to come eat with me.
Eat with you?
Yeah. I'll show him how to put on some pounds.
This is our official invite to Chet. Hey, come eat with us, buddy.
Yeah. We'll get you full.
We'll feed you, big guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he can pick the place. I don't care, but I'm ordering for him.
Yeah, Topic too. He looks a little small.
Well, speaking of Topic, let's transition into.
Do you want to talk about Dub's injury?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but his video that came out is
if you haven't done it, he does a 15-minute video talking about how he tore his ligament in his hand. He said the long medical term. My wife understood it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a ligament that doesn't allow your hand or your wrist to go forward or back or left or right. And so, that's pretty impactful to your shooting hand. And he said he did it, during Phoenix trying to rip a jump ball out of Devin Booker's hand. And then...
Which he already had a wrist sprain. So he was already, like how we saw with Halliburton. I don't. It's not apples to apples, and I'm not gonna act like I know what's happening. But when you're overcorrecting for something that was already injured, other things come into play, like a ligament tear.
It's already weak, so it's gonna we could bring my wife in right now and she'd tell us all about it.
Yeah, Grace, get in here. I'm just kidding.
But she is, she's great. My wife is great. But Jalen, it's so impressive that he talked about relearning how to shoot, essentially.
That's the craziest part.
And so everyone who's like, oh, he's just not shooting the same. Yeah, he's not shooting the same. He's shooting completely different. He was talking about how he had to put it on his fingertips more and get more bend in his leg.
He couldn't cock his wrist. When you catch a basketball to shoot, you're in position to catch it and your wrist is cocked back, and he couldn't do that.
No. He had to swoop under it a little more. And so he definitely, Andrew Schlecht asked him a question after Denver Game 5 when he made that 3-pointer and yelled at his wrist. And Andrew asked him, what was that about? He's like, oh, I don't even remember that. He's like, he obviously remembered it.
Well, he asked, during that time, he turned to the Thunder PR guy and was like, hey, can I talk about that? Did you hear his question? And then he immediately went into, I don't remember it. I have to see a video.
Probably, he said, I probably said something I can't say again.
Yeah, or I can't say on camera or something. Yeah. Which he knew what he was talking about.
But that's kind of interesting because he also mentioned that video. He probably wasn't going to say anything. He was just going to have surgery and come back.
Yeah, he said if Presti hadn't announced it, we would have heard about his surgery because the Thunder would have put out some kind of update anytime that a player has any kind of even minor substantial.
Do they have to? It's the offseason.
They would have. I think they would have had to.
It's probably player preference. I mean, they didn't have to talk about it at all during the playoffs.
Yeah, but it's their choice, and they knew he was never at risk of not playing. They knew he was going to play, but I've never seen a guy get surgery and it not be announced in the NBA.
Well, sure, but
I know of.
Yeah, that's a good question. You may not know.
Yeah.
But he said it was a tactical advantage too for him not to say that because he didn't want people swiping at it and trying to
The thing is, though, people knew. I think there is something to be said for not, but you saw his handles. His handles were loose. His jump shot obviously wasn't there. He turned it on after Game 6 in Denver somehow. And I was thinking about this on a walk this evening. We had nine-ish days before round 1. We sweep Memphis. We had at least a week off. And we always talked about how detrimental that might be to staying in a rhythm for this team. And when you think about it, obviously he talked about how when you had more time off in between games, it got stiffer and things like that. But in my brain, I'm also he had that 9+ days before the Memphis series. He had the week before the Denver series where he stayed in, like he kept getting his shots even when we were out, like because he had to learn how to shoot. And so my brain's like, if we didn't have all that time off, and we'll never know this, could it it sounds weird to talk about like practicing your shot and learning it going into the playoffs, which is how crazy it was. But it's like if he didn't have that time, would he have gotten to a point where he could have been as effective with his hand because he spent all that time relearning it? Like, it's like a little silver lining maybe of all that time off that we thought was going to be horrible. And I still think there's something to it. Like we tend to play better when we didn't have the time off. But as Dub got more comfortable, the what they did with they started giving him the shot 10 minutes before games because it was wearing off. And I think he said he got either 28 or 29 shots over the course of 2 months in the playoffs. And it's like
some lidocaine and some steroidal.
Yeah. Cortisone or not. No,
cortisone is a steroid.
Yeah, that too. But it just like adds to the lore and the legacy of what he did. Like it is, I could not have more respect or think more highly of what Jalen Williams is as a person and as a basketball player. Like just an amazing feat of what he did. And he's going to be really rich here pretty soon.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris, you said you've been watching some Summer League.
I've been watching some Summer League out in Utah, the Mormon state.
Yeah, no caffeine. Those guys are tired.
So they always play a little earlier out in Utah.
Never proven, just guessing.
So Summer League's interesting to me because it's a bunch of guys trying to make NBA rosters, and there's levels to the NBA. Like there's guys who are good enough to play in college and kind of dominate college, but they can't ever make it in the NBA. And that's a little bit of what this is. The NBA is just full of guys who could score 40 any night, right? If you give the guy the right opportunity, he could score, and he could score 40 in a night. It just but they don't because the defense is all crazy in the NBA. But Summer League is just like, it's a small portion of that. So to take something serious away from Summer League is a little bizarre.
It's okay to get excited, but nothing really comes of it.
Right. You can be like, oh, this guy's playing really well. Like Topic has had some highlight plays. It looks like he has really good feel for the game. He shot the ball fine. He made 2 or 3 threes that the Thunder put on social media, but I think he was like 2 for 5 or something. Not terrible, but not great. But he's going to be really interesting playing. I wonder how the speed of the NBA is going to impact him early on.
I also know he's taking shots that he won't take.
Sure.
Like when we're playing. Like him and AJ Mitchell are the only guys that really can create their own shot on the Summer League team. And
AJ Mitchell's been good though.
AJ Mitchell's borderline like too good for Summer League already, which is amazing.
I don't think he'll play in Vegas.
I hope he does, but I get why you say that. I don't know.
He could, but part of me thinks that there's no way he's going to play.
Depends on how much run they want to give to Nicola and
Brooks.
Oh, Brooksy.
Brooks has been fun. He's kind of like
rebounds a stat in the first game.
He's a stat stuffer. He loves going to Golden Corral and eating everybody's favorite dish, trying all the things, rebounds, steals, blocks. He's been all over the court. He's fun to watch. His shots are a little wonky, and that's probably not something he's going to be really asked to do.
That was his biggest knock coming into the NBA was his jump shot. So we'll see what Chip England can do with him.
Yeah. So very cool, but it's been fun. The other thing, if you're a longtime Thunder fan, Darius Baisley scored 27 for the Lakers.
God, he's only 25 years old. We drafted him in like 2019. Like
I know that he sounds so old. I'm sure 27 points. Him, Dalton Connect played really well together and scored. I think with losing Dorian Finney-Smith, I think the Lakers are going to need all the help he can get. I think he's going to earn a roster spot for the Lakers.
Honestly, if he gets a roster spot on the Lakers, holy crap. Who would have thought Darius Baisley would have a chance to get back into the NBA after he left Oklahoma City? I mean, I hope he does.
Where
Everybody
did he
loved
play
him
after
at Oklahoma
that?
City.
Yeah,
Probably
he's a nice
Charlotte.
guy. Probably Charlotte.
Nah, I know he was in Utah for a little bit,
Okay.
but yeah, no.
Summer League's fun.
I want to go one year. I want to go to
I
Vegas.
would love to go to Vegas. We talked about it last year, just couldn't make it work. But I think my wife would love to go. She loves Vegas. She's a big gambler. Grace is.
Yeah, she married
Loves
you.
loves the ponies.
Yep. But no, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I don't anticipate the Thunder really like winning the Summer League championship by any means, but
We've done that before, haven't we?
I don't think so. Now that
Oh,
I
we
know,
did.
we've got a lot of good players, obviously, in Summer League, but I just think the biggest thing with Thunder fans is you just had a team win an NBA championship, and you have at least 2 or 3 guys worth watching in Summer League, which is very rare.
And then one guy who is injured, who I would like to see more Sorber than I do. I think Nikolai was first. Then I would have
Nikola.
wanted to see, Nikola would have been first.
Sorber would have been great too, because I don't think
Sorber
we
would have
really
been
have a
second.
true big for these guys to play off of right now. At least like an NBA.
You don't
level big.
like what's that? Leon or whatever his name is, Leone.
Yeah, he was on the team for like
Leons?
half a second. Maleve Leons or yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's wearing. I have a hard time connecting with him because he took number 17. From
R.I.P. Poku.
my boy.
Did,
Hey, he's
did
not
they
great.
win the finals?
Yeah, they won the Serbian finals. It's not a coincidence that he won the championship the same year we did. He's a
I
championship
don't,
player.
think, I don't think he was playing, was he?
He was. In Serbia, they do this weird thing where like you don't play every game. They like rotate who plays.
Oh, it's like Little League basketball
I
at
guess.
the YMCA.
I guess. But he's a champion. You can never take that away from him. Just wish it was in. I said last year, I was like, we have to win it last year because it was his last chance to get a ring.
Do
we didn't.
you wish it was in the NBA?
Heck yeah. Are you kidding me? I would tune in every night to watch Alexei Pokushevsky play basketball.
I mean,
Every
you
night.
did. You did for a long time. That's what you had to tune into. And now we have actual good basketball to watch. And you're like, oh, I wish I missed the Poku days.
I do sometimes. He was a tank commander, and without him, we're not here. Bottom line.
I think there are plenty of guys who could play as bad as he did.
No, it's a special talent. Special talent. He has his own fanny pack, dude. He got a fanny pack line in Oklahoma City at like Shopgood or no, not Shopgood. Like one of the local shops made
What was the fanny pack line? What was its name?
the Poku packs.
That's what it was called?
I don't know. That's what I call them.
Poku packs? I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah, he could do worse. He's making enough money on his packs.
How is he?
I don't know. I hope he's doing great. Poku, come on the pod, man. You're my number one guest. I would kill to have you on the pod. But
I think. Okay. JoJo, I thought, was our number one guest.
we'd love to have him too, but he's no Poku.
Oh, I don't know. I'd much rather have JoJo.
There's only one Poku. Bottom line.
You don't think that's a family name?
Alexei Pokushevsky.
I mean, Pokushevsky has to be a family name, right?
It's him as an individual. There's only one.
Oh, Poku as like an idea,
Yeah.
like the ethereal Poku.
The potential of Poku is limited to one of one.
We could talk about the potential being there, but Poku itself
Listen, we can't keep talking about Poku because I could do a full
was
pod on him.
Flash fire.
Yeah.
Did nothing. Did nothing for me. Didn't move the needle at all.
I hope he's doing well, man. Come on the pod.
That's
Poku.
one of the thickest calves I've
Hell
ever
yeah,
seen.
he did. Are you kidding me? He was a
Did nothing with them.
tank.
They were like tree. Yeah, they were like tree trunks. They rooted them to the ground.
Yeah, that's why he was so sturdy. I can talk about this all night.
We should have a Poku party.
Would love to. We need to find out like the day we drafted him or the day maybe his birthday or something.
No. I think. Well, he didn't get a day. We could talk about Alex Dukas leaving to go play in Australia.
Yeah, congrats. You won an NBA championship and you went to Australia. We'll never hear of him again.
Perfect.
Bailey's going to be bummed because she loved his girlfriend like TikToks that she would post about.
Oh, really?
the team. Yeah. On Alex Dukas Day. We're recording this on Adam Flagler Day. I mean, it's just a heck of a couple weeks.
Who's Adam Flagler playing for right now? Because
Atlanta
he's
Hawks.
not on. Oh, he is. Hey,
Yeah,
back up Trae Young. Adam Flagler
he might start.
over Trae Young.
dude. I'm telling you, if they need a guy to go 0 of 11 from 3 in like 8 minutes, he's your guy.
Well, they have Trae Young to do that.
Fair. I mean, you double down, I guess.
Can't have too much of a good thing.
No. Before we move on to the free agency game, one little bit of news that came out today. The NBA Cup groupings were released today, and as I know we're all aware, we started this podcast in the middle of the NBA Cup last year. It's the one thing the Thunder did not win this year, and I know they're pissed about it. They're going to come back with a vengeance, and we know who's in our group. And I could not be happier with who the draw is or who's
easiest group in the West.
Far and away. So the 4 other teams in the Thunder's group, which it's like they call it Cup night. So like on Tuesdays and Fridays from like October 31st to November something, the Thunder will play the Timberwolves, the Suns, the Kings, and the Jazz. 3 of those teams probably won't even make the playoffs. Maybe not even the
Timberwolves.
Yeah. They're going to be tanking for Darren Peterson. No.
We're already on James Bond.
James Bond.
Oh, what was the guy? What's Tim's favorite James Bond's name? Pierce Brosnan. Never mind. Peterson. Never mind. I was going to make that connection. We had Capture the Flag.
No.
I was going to say, Bond.
Yeah, there's your James Bond talk. But the Wolves, they have at home, and I think it's the Suns too. The Wolves and Suns are at home, so you have potentially, for sure, the best team you're going to play at home. And then the rest of the West, I mean, the Nuggets, Rockets, and Warriors are all in the same grouping. The Spurs are in there too, and Portland's no slouch. They got better.
The group of death.
And then the other group is Dallas, Clippers, Lakers, Grizzlies, Pelicans, which that one you could tell me any of those teams win it, and I'd believe you.
It's like Pelicans or Grizzlies.
No, I'd believe you. Like, that's how weird I think this group is. Like, who knows what Dallas is going to look like. I don't know how much the Clippers are going to care. The Lakers, I mean, DeAndre Ayton.
Do the Clippers think they're going to get somebody after trading Norm Powell?
Trading away Norm Powell, and their thought is that they've cleared enough cap space that if Phoenix buys out Bradley Beal, he could come over. They do have the space for it now, and I think he's the favorite, which I do anticipate that happening, but sign me up for that. We'd torch Bradley Beal. I'm not worried about them. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I really want to win the Cup, but I'd rather win a championship.
Cup doesn't matter to me.
It did last year. The Cup was so important.
No. I didn't care about the Cup. I didn't care that we lost by 50.
We did at the time because we were like, can this team perform under the big lights?
It was every like national televised TV game. Oh, that was a mouthful that I think I said wrong anyways. That the Thunder just did not perform well.
No.
And it was just like, what are we doing? We want people to know that we play well.
Dub didn't have a good game. That's so everyone's like, can he be the second option? His wrist was fine when that happened too. But I mean, I'm excited for Cup nights. I love it. I think it's been a cool addition to the NBA season. Just a little bit something else to follow, especially for the teams that maybe don't have aspirations. Like if you catch it, like the Bulls last year, like I think they beat Boston in this, and it was like, what the heck? Like what are they doing? The Hawks went to Vegas. I mean, the Bucks won the championship. Like,
and they're a dumpster fire now.
They did steal Miles Turner away, but they're just I don't know. It's exciting. It gives something else to root for. And it's I know we have potentially a game on Halloween night. Our first potential date of game has been released.
I'll be trick-or-treating. Got to get that candy.
At Paycom. I'm going to go around and ask all of the vendors for candy.
Yeah, bring in a bucket.
Mm-hmm. Or just go get a Thundershot bag.
Bucket.
Yeah. We can dress up. We can go, and I might dress up as Mark Dagnall.
Squint all night. How you'll see the court?
Well, what's going to be interesting is if I looked just like him, like if they just let me on the court.
You think you could get on the court?
Yeah, because then I could see. So that's the goal. But, yeah. There's your Cup talk. there's your cup talk. But we're running a little long, but I gotta get into this game with Christopher.
Give me the game.
So
Good
this
answer,
game
Steve.
is about NBA free agency. And I was talking to some friends about how there's just people in the NBA that like feel made up. Like that's not a real person.
Oh, I see where this is going.
So I have a list of names here. And I'm going to run through them. And Chris is going to tell me if they're real or fake. I'm not going to tell you where they signed, how much they signed for, because some of these guys aren't real. But I want to see if you can identify it. And if
You
you
could have
can
made something up.
And if you tell me, well, I think if I tried to make it up, I would spoil it more because I'd have to sit there and think about it. But if you can also tell me which team they signed to or traded to or whatever. Most of them are free agency signings, but there were a couple names that I was like, I'm going to throw this on there. They're all minor players, but you get a point if you get the name right, if you call it as real or not, and you get a point if you guess where they are now playing.
I'm going to make them both. Oh.
It sounds bad when you're talking to the mic.
All right. I'm going to make them both.
Here we go. Number 1.
Sorry, fans.
The first name on the list, Jordan McLaughlin.
That he is a basketball player.
All these guys are basketball players.
Oh, in the NBA?
Well, no. Potentially all of them are. Are you saying he's real?
That was my answer. He's real.
Okay. That is correct. Do you know where he signed? He signed this evening, actually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Can I take half a point if you give me West or East?
West.
Kings.
False. He used to play for the Kings, but he signed with the San Antonio Spurs.
Damn.
Second player, Ryan Rollins.
That is not an NBA player. He is not real.
Not real? He's fake?
He's a fake guy.
That is incorrect. He is a real player.
Oh, I was trying to outsmart
He signed with the Milwaukee Bucks. Real player.
Ryan Rollins.
So you're batting 500 basically in terms of getting them right. Well, we're through
Not
2.
bad.
We're through 2.
I mean 50%.
Number 3, Mitch Murray.
Mitch, I love the alliteration. And because the alliteration, I think it's made up. I think he's a fake player.
You nailed it. I actually Googled like NBA player name generator, and he's the first one that popped up.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, you could have just went to like 2K25 or whatever.
And just auto-generated the player. Yeah. So nailed that one. 2 of 3.
He didn't sign.
Nailed it.
With anyone.
Number 4, Trey Jones.
Trey Jones is a basketball player, and he signed with the Orlando Magic. No, Trey Jones, didn't he just sign with the... he got drafted by somebody. He played at Texas. He got drafted to... Oh, I don't know. Is it Orlando?
Trey Jones is a real player. He did not get drafted to wherever you said. Or he didn't even go to Texas.
He did get...
He went to Duke. And he signed with the Chicago Bulls.
Wait, what was the Texas guy that got drafted 5th?
Mo Bamba?
No, this year.
Trey Johnson. He got drafted 6th.
Trey Johnson. Okay.
Yeah.
I had the Trey J right.
Yeah. Next up, Jake LaRavia.
Oh, I know who Jake LaRavia is. He just signed with... He played on the Grizzlies last year, and I think he just signed with the Lakers.
Nailed it. This guy knows ball. Next,
I know ball. That's why this is ball talk.
Justin Edwards.
See, that to me sounds more like a football player. But maybe I'm just thinking of Gus Edwards.
Gus Bus?
The Gus Bus. The Ravens running back, or used to be. Justin Edwards. Sounds made up. I think he's a real NBA player. I think he's a real guy.
He is a real guy. He just signed with the Sixers. Yes. Nailed it. The problem is there are some international guys that I can't even pronounce their names. So basically how much I butcher it might lead you to believing or disbelieving. So next up is Misko Zoric.
Not a real player. Not a real guy.
Correct. That's actually a Serbian name that I looked up.
Oh, you just looked up.
I looked up random Serbian
name.
Yeah. Let's do a couple more and then we'll head out.
Yeah. I'm liking this.
The next one, Trendon Watford.
When you say Trendon, I immediately think of Trenton, New Jersey. But Trendon, the capital of New Jersey, for all you capital heads out there. Trendon, what'd you say his last name was?
Watford.
You answered a little fast. I think he's a real guy.
He is a real guy. Just because I knew his last name, I literally just said it, man. He is with the 76ers as well.
I feel like the fake players, you would have had to like reread the name.
I got the list right here.
I know you'd have to reread it. You didn't have to. I was watching your eyes.
Fair. Okay, last guy, Chris.
Okay.
Last guy.
I'm gonna call my shot. I'm gonna Babe Ruth this.
Okay.
Going to the outfield. Well, no, it's not good radio. He's a fake guy.
You're already calling it?
I'm calling it. He's a fake guy.
What if I just change the name?
Well,
now that I know.
Trust in your integrity.
No, okay. This is the guy that I was gonna say, and you're already calling your shot that he is a fake guy.
I'm calling my shot. I'm pointing out and chewing my cigar and a hot dog at the same time.
I will say the name, and then I will let you decide if you agree with it or if you want to change your answer.
Okay.
His name is Sandro Mamukalashvili.
Now, that is. I changed my answer. I think he's a real guy.
Really? Why?
Yes.
What's your logic there?
My logic is that it's a crazy name, and I think the name that if you were doing a more foreign name, you would have picked an easier name to pronounce.
You maybe. He is a real player.
Yeah,
he is a real player,
okay.
And he signed with the Toronto Raptors. So,
is he Canadian born?
No, he's Georgian.
Oh, down from Athens.
No, I think he's like international.
I know. That was a joke.
Oh. Well, we're not a geography pod, so. But yeah, there you have it. Just a little.
Hold on. Do you think geography podcasts would be the worst podcast to listen to?
We can try it.
Them just describing maps.
Yeah. But look how this map looks. Do you see where that state is? Do you see where this country is?
That's good podcasting.
Yeah. Maybe in this offseason we get super bored. We can just start talking about maps. But we just talk about the maps.
I'm a big fan of
Oklahoma City.
Oh, Maps 4.
Yeah.
I'm into the maps.
But yeah, there's a little smorgasbord of Thunder and basketball talk. We got some stuff we're gonna work through. We have some ideas of what we want to cover over the next couple months, and our plan is to record at the beginning of each week. We've been traveling and have some house stuff that have limited our abilities to record over the last couple weeks, but we're looking forward to it. We appreciate everybody for listening. I'm still riding that high. I feel good.
Oh,
I'm an NBA champion.
Ben's high.
Don't tell my mom.
Drug test.
Yeah, there you have it. If you ever want to play our little free agency game, there's tons of players out there. We can come up with another list. But Chet's rich. Thunder know how they're going to win the cup, against who. And the salary cap is crazy. That's the bottom line. But appreciate everybody for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we will talk to you then. See ya.
All night long, party, party, we like to party, party, party all night long.